Anthropic just released Claude Dispatch, and it solves everything that made tools like OpenClaw powerful, but difficult and risky to actually use. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. We're going to look at how you can trigger complex tasks straight from your phone while the actual heavy lifting runs securely on your local computer. We aren't just going to clean up an inbox and draft replies. I'm going to show you how a single prompt can trigger a complete multi-step workflow. Let me show you exactly what I mean. I'm going to type, "Can you check my last 3 emails, clean it up, and draft replies to anything important?" I'm sending this from my phone, but the important detail is that the task is actually running on my computer. You can see it moving through the inbox, identifying relevant emails, and now it's drafting replies based on the context of each conversation. Now, this one here is important. This is a client I've been going back and forth with and has already generated a reply that moves the conversation towards scheduling the meeting. To get this working with something like OpenClaw, you typically would be dealing with API keys, local agents, and the real possibility of breaking something in the process. But with Claude, it essentially works out of the box. And more importantly, this is not limited to replying to a single email. That same input can be extended into a complete workflow, which is where things start to become much more interesting. Before building out that workflow, it's important to understand why this represents such a significant shift compared to the do-it-yourself agent setup that are being widely shared right now. If you look at open source tools like OpenClaw, they introduce 2 major problems: cost and security. On the cost side, you're working with API-based pricing, which means every action, reading an email, searching a document, generating text, adds to your bill. Even simple experiments can quickly become expensive, and it is very easy to spend a significant amount without realizing it. On the security side, you're often providing raw API keys and granting broad access to systems that are still experimental and loosely controlled. That creates a real risk, and there have already been large-scale leaks from setups like this. Claude Dispatch takes a different approach. It is included within a flat monthly subscription fee, so usage is predictable and not tied to individual actions. There are no API keys to manage. More importantly, it executes locally on your machine using applications you already have authenticated, and it introduces a human-in-the-loop model. That combination of predictable cost, local execution, and controlled output is what makes it practical to use beyond experimentation. With that in place, we can now take the same client email and actually act on it. Now, if you look at the draft here, it has prepared the response, but it has not sent it. The final step remains under your control. So instead of opening a new tab and manually checking my schedule, I can send a single instruction, read Sam's email, find an available time in my calendar, and send an invite to Sam. Now, if you follow what's happening on the desktop, it first reads the email to understand the context and any constraints around timing. It then searches my Google Calendar for a suitable 30-minute slot that aligns with the email context. Once it finds a match, it creates the meeting, adds Sam's, generates an agenda, and sends the invite out to him. This is not a single action. It's a sequence of dependent steps being executed in the correct order. Now, the next question is whether it can help me prepare for that meeting as well. So a few days have passed, and Sam and I have had the discovery call, and now the transcript is stored in my Google Drive. Normally, I would need to locate that document, read through it to refresh my memory. Instead, I'll send another instruction. Find the meeting transcript, extract the key points, and draft a proposal email. At this point, the system is breaking the task into steps on its own. It searches the drive, finds the relevant file, reads and analyzes the content, and then writes a structured proposal based on that information. And here is the result sitting in my drafts: a complete, professionally written proposal that directly references the client's specific CRM challenges from the transcript. So how is this actually going to work? Because this is very different from just typing into ChatGPT. Anthropic basically splits the agent ecosystem into 2. If you're a software engineer, you'll use Claude Code in your terminal. But for normal knowledge workers, business owners, and operators, you'll use Claude Cowork. That's the desktop app we just used. The architecture is actually really simple, but it's genius. Claude Dispatch on your phone isn't doing the heavy computing. It's just the walkie-talkie. It sends the task, your desktop Cowork app receives it, executes it, and uses secure connectors to reach into your actual Gmail, Drive, and calendar. Here's the key insight. Your computer is doing the work, not the cloud. And you aren't uploading your entire life into a random server. Your desktop is acting as your own personal local AI server. So if you want this to work, you can set it up in about 5 minutes. But do not skip this next part, or the whole system will break. Step 1. Install the Claude desktop app and the Claude mobile app on your phone. Make sure you are logged into the same account on both. Step 2. This is critical. You have to follow the always awake rule. Your host computer must not go to sleep because everything is running locally. So if your computer accidentally goes to sleep, your AI agent also goes to sleep. Step 3. Inside of Cowork, make sure that you authenticate your Gmail, Drive, and Calendar. You can also choose what other apps you want to connect to, such as Slack, Canva, or even Atlassian. The choice is yours. Step 4. This is optional, but you can import custom skills, workflows, and scripts into your Cowork library to make the agent even smarter for your specific use cases. And that's it. If you found this video useful, subscribe and follow for more breakdowns like this on AI tools and workflows, and I'll see you in the next one.